So we're happy to announce the June release of the ATS Online Marketplace. In fact, we've already have released patch 1 release. So today I'm going to focus on the June release and what's available new in the June release. As always, there is a, on our website, there is a place for the current release notes. I'm going to go ahead and click on that right now, let everybody see that. And in here, you'll see the June 2014 major release. This page right here will identify all the major things that are available in this new release. And we're going to go over a few of those today. Some of the things that I'll just kind of briefly highlight, and then we'll go in and do some demos of some of these, are to implement the used company pricing. That was something that we had not used in iMIS. A couple of organizations have asked for that. And that would be the case where your member or non-member pricing would be based on the company you're linked to, not based on your own membership status. Some organizations wanted to use that. One of the things we've done is in the subject lines of the receipts now. Those can be customized similar to a print merge. So you can say, thank you, Randy Richter, for your order, something along that lines if you want to do that. Some increased performance, definitely on the images. We've increased the performance of the system on there. We have added some new store settings that will let you do pagination. Pagination is a big thing that's in here. We've added some support for HTTP and HTTPS in links and receipts. So there was some issues before if you had a specific page that was HTTPS. If you go into HTTPS to check out and you had a hardwired HTTP link that was causing an issue, that's been taken care of. There's an immediate add to cart function. This might be beneficial for people where on your website at any place, you can just make a button or a link that says click here. That single click will add that item to your shopping cart and take you right to the cart to check out. You could use that for a quick checkout for a book, even for a webinar, or even for a subscription item. So the quick add to cart is a cool functionality that we've added in there as well. A few others here. In the billing, we've got a lot of things that we've done in the billing this time around in the dues and subscriptions that will let you, make sure that people have a particular data on file. Maybe that you require to join or renew that somebody's email address on file. Maybe you require that if you're registering as a student that you've uploaded the student transcript. Things like that. Now, the store isn't going to do the upload, but it will stop the person from continuing and go to a link of your choice to have them finish and do that process. Additionally, we had some people where they were limited, where in the ATS dues table, there's a setting that says what's the person's beginning member type, what's their beginning category, and status, and chapter. And that would help to determine whether they could join or renew. So maybe if you're a student, you can join as a student. You could renew as a student or a professional. But if you're a professional, you can't renew as a student. Well, now that was not quite enough criteria for some folks. We've added the ability where you can make any criteria you want. In other words, you have to be a student member. This beginning member type. Maybe let's go back. It's an NM. You have to be an NM for a non-member. You have to have a blank category. And you have to meet this other criteria, meaning that you live in the U.S. or some other criteria to be able to join. So I want to make sure that we're clear on the differences of that. The criteria is what does this person need to do to even get into the join process, and then if they're eligible to join in that particular category, what data may be missing from their record. Two different options that we have in there. We do have some other general things in here, some resolved issues. In the interest of time, we'll go ahead and move on. But these are the things that you can take a look at these release notes and see what's available there. A couple of things as we get started here, I want to make sure that everybody knows we send out the announcements via email. We do have announcements on our Facebook site. We'd love it if you would like us on Facebook. We do put announcements there as we did. Get everything you need to know about the June release at this webinar that we're looking at today. So that's something there. We also have a Twitter feed. You can subscribe to attach to our Twitter feed at AS Tech Solution, and make sure you get the Twitter feed. In addition, don't forget about our idea scale, where we have lots of different places to vote and put your ideas together. Some of these things are done. For example, this make confirmation email subjects customizable was completed, and that is in the June release, so we'll be marking that complete. While this one here, editing a meeting registration, don't want to get too far ahead, those are the kind of things that is actually something we are looking for in the summer version for those of you that run an iMIS 20 and above. So lots of, don't forget this site to post your ideas and things you want us to move forward with. So I want to show you this. We'll start with the pagination first. I'm going to go back to the store home here. I'm going to search for something very broad, like just the word "the." And I want to let you know that you can control how many things you want to see on the page. For example, and it's kind of based on how much content, how much information that you have that you display with various items. But you'll see here, showing results 1 to 5 of 63. You still have the ability to sort alphabetically, but you'll be able to see those results there. Say 1 to 53, and there's 5 results here. I apologize. This is a demo database, the demo site. I do have time spawns. I don't have anything really fancy here, but you get the idea of the functionality. So showing 1 to 5 results, you'll see down here, I could go next page, or I could click on page 2, and I could search to those results. I can go page 4, I could jump ahead, and it's just a way to show results. Now, I know some of you have hundreds, if not thousands, of documents out there. So the pagination is a great feature. Again, it lets you show, there's a store setting that says how many do you want per page. If you want 10 per page, you set that value to 10, and the pagination and everything will handle it. Again, this does search, as you know, for products, events, subscriptions, all of that together. And the good thing about once we get this data, we have it all locally here, so we don't have to go back to iMIS every time to research it. And that's why paging through these things is pretty quick, page these pages. Okay? So that's the pagination there. I want to talk about this join and give you an example of how that works with the criteria. Now, I just went into iMIS and created a new record for somebody called John Doe. I'm going to jump over here to iMIS and show you the iMIS database real quick. We see here that to join, and for those of you using dues, to join, if you're a non-member, you have this information here, the same stuff we've always had. We've had new fields at the bottom. 2 new fields called criteria. The criteria is the name of a view. And if the person's ID number, who's you're trying to join or renew, is in that view, then they can do it. This particular view, I believe the way this was set up in our demo mode is that only people in the United States can join this particular type of billing member type. And that would be good for if you have different member types for international versus U.S. as an example. Where they might all be non-members when they start, but when they end, they might have a different member type based on whether they came in from international part or not. In addition, we have a new field called profile. This field will let you, again, have the name of a view. That view will determine if the person, and this is in the release notes of documentation, if the person is in this view, then they will not be able to continue. And in that view are two fields. One is the ID number of the person, and the second is a note that you want displayed on the screen. So in this case, we create a view called V-Dues Profile Check. This profile check is very simple, this one. It just requires the person to have an email address on file before they continue. So let me show you how that works in the user interface. I am here logged in, and I can register anybody, renew and join renew people from my company. I'm going to happen to be logged in as John Doe. I'm going to go ahead and join as John Doe. Now, what we've done is they can join as both a CPA or an individual member. And of course, your words might be different on this. We'll go here and see if I want to join. Some of these items have the dues profile is required and some is not. And I want to give you an example here. If I join as a CPM member, I can just go right ahead and join and add to my cart. There are no criteria. There is not a criteria set up in iMIS right now in this view that a CPA member has to have an email address. But let's go back and change it to an individual member. Now, in this case, an individual member does have a requirement. So in this case, a message will pop up that says you must have an email address on file to join or renew. Click here to edit your profile and add an email address. So in this case, you would make this link. This is all inside the view. You could click here and go to whatever page you want, your profile page, your edit profile page. Really, this is completely up to you. As we say, this is an example for demonstration purposes only, and the link should go to your profile editing tool. Okay? So again, if there's a student and you need them to upload a transcript, you could, even though maybe joining as a CPA member does not require a transcript, but an individual member does, that is where you can set this criteria to say, hey, you don't have that information. Click here to go fill it out. You go fill it out. Then that page needs to return them right back to here, and then they can continue on through the process. Okay? Pretty cool. Okay. Great. Show you a couple other things. Hit the back button here. That's how this dues will work. One other thing that I want to throw out here that we've done that is going to be very important for some of you, and I know a couple of you on the phone are looking for this, and I kind of forgot about this a minute ago. Let me bring it up, is what we call a kit of dues. Now, this basic dues is not $445, but it includes a lot of stuff. Now, you can make this text message whatever you want, but this would be a way to, for example, if your journal is $5 extra and goes to a separate general ledger account number, but you don't want people to be able to see that in the card or to see that on their receipt or to see that through this process, you create a kit of dues, and those items will automatically be rolled up, even though in the back end of iMIS, everything will look and work as you expect. Let me go ahead and pull up that table in iMIS here on the dues. We go to the setup tables. I'm going to go to the general lookup table. Of course, we do have administrative interface through the portal where you can see all this. But let me look at this. Let me spell it wrong here. Just a second. Store dues kits. So here's an example of how this can be set up. It's very simple. You create line items in here. It says if anybody buys basic dues, then in the description, these are the other product codes that will be automatically included. So when I buy basic, it'll automatically include the chapter Dallas, no options to take it out, no options to, you could have options to add additional chapters. That's perfectly fine, but Dallas chapter will be automatically included, as will this FIN product and the journal product, automatically included in the dues. So when I go back to the store and I take a look at this, you'll see it's automatically, everything's rolled up into this price, and when I hit the next, there's really nothing else. But if you had other additional journals that were optional, maybe Journal 2, Journal 3, you could add those in here as well. And then, of course, we simply add them to the cart. When we add them to the cart, you do not see those individual items because they're all rolled up into the main item. So I think there's a couple of you on the phone that were really looking for that feature, and now you can have that where items are not seen. Especially important if you have a chapter fee and other kind of fees that maybe you don't want people to see line item because you don't want people to think they can delete them, or why am I paying for this journal when I get it electronically, whatever. Those are some reasons that you would want to use this feature of the online marketplace. Okay. So one other way I want to show you. I want to show you the receipting and how that is set up. And give me just a second to do that on another screen here. And we're going to go ahead and look at a receipt and look at the receipt setup. Just a second, and I'll jump back into the store here to do that. And there is another general lookup table. Scroll down here. Receipt subject lines. In here, you can have different receipt subject lines for each different type of receipt. That would include order receipts, event confirmation letters, dues receipts, and fundraising receipts. All right, so let's take a look at one of these here for the orders. You'll see here that you can set up that the default for all orders receipts will be, the subject line will be the order number, colon, thank you, ship to full name for your order of num items, something like that. So you can you can change these to be whatever you want. Here's one for the events. Order number, event code, event title, start date, thank you for your order for et cetera, et cetera. An event confirmation letter. Now you can also, on an event-by-event basis, have a different subject line for each event. Okay, so here's an event with A and N, and this is all in the documentation how to do this. You can set up a specific receipt. So the default would be, what is the default for all events? And then you can override it on a meeting level, on an event type basis, or on an overall, on an event code basis. So some cool features there. Okay. With that, those are the big things I want to show. I don't want to keep you too long here. I would like to see if there's any questions. I'm going to take people off mute here and see if there's any questions from anybody. Any comments? Any wows? Any? We've been waiting for this. Anybody have any comments? I know we have some ATS staff. On the call, and if they have anything that they want to add as well, Tim, Ben, Laura, anybody else have anything that they'd like to add to this? Okay. Oh, we got a question. Just a second. Oh, that was just a comment. Hadn't jumped into a release webinar for a while. Thanks, Randy. Okay, perfect. Well, I'll tell you what. So the next step is, since there's no questions, I want to talk about how do you get this patch and what's the impact of this. This release. We'd like you to send a message to help@atsol.org requesting this update. Based on your particular situation, if you just have the store only, that's usually a pretty quick situation. And if you have other applications, we'll do some remediation on those and make sure those work.
Hey, Randy, can you hear me? This is Ben. Yeah. It looks like we do have one question. How does the kit of dues work for renewals?
Yeah. I'll get to that if I could in just a second. What I'd like to say is send that to help@atsol.org, and we'll get that scheduled for you to get that release. Typically you should be able to get that in place pretty quick. As far as the upgrade path, there are only a few new settings. As usual, we set the default settings to what to a default value for some new labels or if something's turned on or off, or for the subject lines and things like that. And then we'll go through the manual with you if that's what you want to do, and go through and look at any of the new release, the new features, and get those in place for you. Regarding the question about the kit of dues, really when you go through the dues renewal, Taryn, this will, rebill everybody. So if you said you were joined as you're a member and you are in the Dallas chapter, and now when you set up that always includes the Travis County chapter, then when you go through the renewal, it will add the new chapters and the new items that are in the kit. So even though you were billed for one, you weren't billed for something, if you renew and now it's required, it's in the journal, it will automatically add that journal in the future. even though you had not been billed for it as part of your renewal cycle, if you want to do it that way. Does that answer your question there, Taryn? Okay. Hopefully. All right. Thanks, Taryn. You bet. Other than that, I just want to I'll take 2 more minutes to talk about some of the things we're looking at in the future. You know, we're doing patches about every 2-3 weeks. There's already a patch 1 release. The patch 1 release is pretty cool, and then it includes an integration to a company called Passkey. Passkey is a company that does hotel booking. As an example, you can now set up your store so that you can have an event that's Passkey enabled. And when somebody registers for an event, they will be presented with the opportunity to get a hotel room. And that will automatically pass over their name and address and all the information over to the Passkey system, where they won't have to log in there or do anything on that side. Then you can also have it set so that the people will not be able to go to Passkey and get a hotel room until they are registered for the event. So if they're not registered, it will make them register first before they can click on that link. That can really help with attrition rates, where people getting rooms up close and then not actually registering for the event. And then they cancel the rooms, and you have to pay attrition rates, things like that. So we're pretty excited about that Passkey integration that's just been implemented. That is available in patch 1. For any of you that are using Passkey or want to talk more about it, please send a message to help on that particular issue. As I said, our really focus for this summer, for the next major release, will be to look at the event registration process. That's going to include a few things. One of them that we're really hopeful of is the work we've seen for those clients that are iMIS 20.1 and above. iMIS now has in their APIs the ability to edit registration. We're reviewing that very closely and working on the user interface to that. There's kind of a couple levels. We'll probably roll this out. One level will be that you can add things and perhaps not be able to delete things right off the bat with money. The reason we're saying that is because there may be items that have wait lists. There may be items where you want to charge a cancellation fee on a function-by-function basis, and that's going to take a little bit longer to develop, but we are working on that. But we at least want to let people be able to edit registrations. The other thing that we've got slated is the ability to simply edit guest badges. That would let you do something like let somebody buy a table, 8 rounds of table, and not know the names of the people when they buy, and then be able to go back in later and edit those name badges or edit the names that are going to be at that. So that's not in concrete yet, but those are the things that we are working on and expecting in the next major release. So it's been about a half hour. I'm going to stop right now again and see if there's any last questions. Anybody raise their hand, I'll unmute you or we can talk. Give that for just a few seconds to see if anybody else has anything to say. Okay, with that, please send your message to get your upgrade in place to help@atsl.org, and we'll be happy to help you. With that, that concludes the presentation for today, and we look forward to seeing some new stores and some new functionality on your website. Thanks a lot, everybody.